welcome back to a new episode at in Sports with my friend, my bro, Mr. Wetz. What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you been, man?
I'm doing good, been good. Episode 23. How's everything going, Mike?
It's all right, man. It's all right. You know, new year. It's been a weird start to the year, man. But we're all right. We're alive.
That's what matters.
It's pretty brick in New York today.
How much is it?
Man, it felt like 10 degrees
10
this
degrees?
morning. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was freezing. And I'm not usually that cold. Like, I have a super thick coat, but I was
I think I
was
saw you
dying.
tweeted. You like it's break outside.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And it's still mad windy too today. Like, so I'm like, oh man.
It was actually like it got as low as 39.
Yeah, I saw a lot of my timeline tweeting about Florida
yeah.
weather.
It was cold. I went out to the gym and then I felt it, but my coworker was like, yo, if it was on a Monday, he was gonna pop up with that, like with the Tims and stuff like that. Because he's from up north too, so he was like, yo, they're right in the closet. Like, oh, say no more.
I'm ready,
B. Yo, let me play one game with you, like real quick. Like, you're gonna be guess who tweeted that. Considering retirement after I was informed that football will be slipping out my tiny hands. Please keep me in your thoughts. Who do you think tweeted that?
Is it a football player?
Yeah, it's a football player, an NFL player.
Player. Yeah. AB?
Nah. One more try.
Give me a conference.
I'll give you a better hit.
Okay.
Hint.
Give me a
They're
town,
underdog.
city. They're underdog?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are they in the playoffs right now?
Nah. Nice try, Mike. Nice try.
Is it Joe Burrow?
Damn, you got it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna actually tell you which conference. I was gonna be, all right, let me tell you which conference. Yeah, it's him.
Man.
It's him. Who you going on for the finals? Bengals or?
Listen, man, I don't want the Rams. I don't want the Rams to win. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Sean McVay is a pretty cocky bastard. Like, look, I love Aaron Donald. I think he's great, but the quarterback too, like after all those years of Detroit suffering, I'll probably feel good for him if he won a championship.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Sean McVay, Odell Beckham Jr. would not let us hear the end of this too, man, if he wins a championship. But there's a lot of guys that's on that team that should win a championship. Yeah. But Sean McVay and just LA fans in general, it's like just too much, man. So I'm going for Cincinnati. I'm going for the new kid on the block.
The new kid on the block.
Yeah, I'm going for the new kid on the block. I'm rooting for him. Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm worth $1 million. It's not fake. Oh, yo, I'm rooting for him too. Just for, I mean, I've been saying in the beginning of the season, there's something about this kid that he's gonna be the next big thing as a quarterback, but I never thought it was gonna be right. I mean, there's still more thing to prove, like next season, even if you want,
consistency, right?
Yeah, because it's for me, it's still Mahomes league, but you still have he's gonna have to be consistent. But there was something about that kid, like the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely
confident, man.
He definitely inserted himself into the conversation between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Let me get in there.
Yeah. So,
and he has the least pressure. I feel like he has the least pressure.
Yeah, they have none. Like,
he's just chilling.
The Bengals have sucked for so long, man. Like, just seeing them, and it's not even
they're playing with heart.
It's something that I'll get to, when we start talking about our topics. But the city of Ohio has a lot to be proud of right now, man. They got the Bengals are doing great. The Cavaliers are doing great. The Browns were on a little bit of a resurgence as well. So, after LeBron left the city in shambles and moved to the Lakers, they probably were stressed out. But I think the city's
willing back.
Yeah, I think it's looking a little bit. It's looking.
I don't know about the Browns though, but
yeah, I mean,
You gotta give
I
some
said a little bit.
a
I said
little.
a little.
All right, episode 23. We're gonna be talking about the NBA. It's gonna be like the midterm break. You know, like they're gonna go to the All-Star. So we're gonna do a midterm grade. We're gonna be grading all the East team just for the episode 23, and then we're gonna come back to a new episode to do the West. So it's gonna be a midterm grade. So Mike and I we're gonna give like a grade to every team in the East and how we're feeling about them. That's a midterm. And Mike, do you have anything to add on before we start with the trade from the Portland?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think out from an outsider's perspective, like you're looking at the trade and you don't really understand it,
Yeah.
because it looks very confusing. But I mean, I'm looking at it as like, okay, they're just coming to terms with the fact that look, this team sucks. Like,
Mhm.
there's no reason to be paying such a huge bill, um, for
Trying to get rid of contracts.
exactly for a team that's not like doesn't seem like they're going to be making the plan, honestly. Like, I mean, they're in position right now, but I don't think when it comes down to it, they'll actually make it. And if
Let's start
rumors are
with the
true,
number one team. So we're gonna be grading the team in the midterm, and we're gonna start with Chicago Bulls, Mike.
mhm,
Actually your team,
yes,
and
sir.
doing doing way better than last season. First, before you grade them,
Mhm.
what I had a question about you. So the team for me, as I'm seeing, you're a better mid-range team. Your field goal percentage went up. You're second behind Suns with 47.8, and last year you were like ninth. DeMar DeRozan is scoring 26.6
Yeah.
point per game. He's a starter at the All-Star. He hasn't had a season like that since Toronto 2016, 2017, 27.3. And yeah, so what has changed in your team? And then you can grade him right after.
What has changed, man? I think overall, like, for DeMar playing with a player like Zach Levine probably gives him a little bit more room to operate, and especially with Vucevic as well. Vucevic could actually stretch the floor a little bit more. So I think he's playing a little bit more one-on-one basketball, like than he's probably ever played in his career so far. He's shooting 50% from the field, which is insane. Like, and you're scoring 26.6 points per game. Um, I think that's one of the major things that's changed for the team. But like, I'll be the first to say it. I doubted the team.
Hmm.
Uh,
Sebastian would say that.
yeah, I doubted the team 100%, and um, I'm still going to say, like, there are still concerns because we're ranked 26th in rebounding in the league. We only have one big on our roster, which is Vucevic. So over the course of a 7-game series, like when it comes to the playoffs, especially if the playoffs were to end today, when you're looking at the standings, if we're going to the second round, we're potentially being matched up with either Philly or the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, Even though Philly is a bad rebounding team this year, but you have Joel Embiid as the most dominant center in the league, and you have the Milwaukee Bucks, who are like a top 7, top 8 rebounding team in the league with Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that'd be very difficult to match up against over a 7-game series, man. Especially if the Bucks win. Like, they were the champions last year. So very impressive so far. I think playing with Lonzo, Kobe White, a whole bunch of 3-point shooters, Ayo Dosunmu, like, terrific rookie, like, so I think he's playing with the most space he's ever had and the most freedom that he's ever had in his career so far.
And what grade do you give him?
I give him an A plus, man,
Ah,
an A
A
plus.
plus
Like,
for the Bulls.
yeah, man.
And
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was gonna. I was say in terms for size, I think there's a trade rumor that you're looking at. I'm not sure if you're going after, but you're looking at Jacob. He plays for he's a center at the Spurs. Jacob. I'm not sure if I'm saying
Oh,
his
Jacob
last
Pertl.
name. Yes, Pirtle.
Jacob Pertl. Okay, that'd
Yep.
be nice. He played with Demar before. He's a decent center. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, again, like we don't have any bigs. It's very impressive that we've come so far, especially with injuries. Uh, Patrick Williams, we lost at the beginning of the season, like who was going to be a very important piece for us. Lonzo Ball has missed the last couple of weeks. We lost AC Fresh to injury as well. Um, and the team just keeps churning out victories. DeMar was out of the lineup. Zach LaVine was out of the lineup. Kobe White missed significant time at the beginning of the year. So it's just impressive. Billy Donovan has done a very good job with the team. Derek Jones Jr., who is going to be an important, pivotal part in our rotation going forward as well. So yeah, A+, man. I did not expect us to be, a top seed, even though looking at the standings from 1 to 5, things could change at any time, right? At any moment now. But the team is extremely impressive. I'm very proud of, what the team has been doing this year. Like A+ for me, like no doubt.
All right, the Miami Heat.
The Miami Heat as well. Like it's gonna be very consistent for the top 3 picks right now in the standings.
Yes.
The Miami Heat will get an A+ grade from me as well.
Why?
They've also missed players that's through injuries as well. And you're looking at the roster from last year to this year, looking at the jump that Tyler Hero has made. I think for me, he's a shoo-in to be 6th man of the year. He's their top scorer at 20 points per game.
Quickly, was he a snub for the All-Star?
I don't think so. Yes, they're up there in the rankings, but I don't think so.
We can go on with
what you I don't think so. He'll have more opportunities.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Oladipo hasn't even suited up for them. They're 16th in rebounds per game. No, I think, is it for rebounds or for points? But yeah, I don't really remember. But just looking at their team overall, man, Spo is such a great coach. I just have to give him, they're the second in the standings right now in the Eastern Conference. Again, I didn't expect that from them. So those are things that's coming off of my expectations. And then looking at the injuries that they had on their roster and the players that they're promoting, like Max Strus is playing really well. This other European kid, I think. Yeah, this other European kid, I think that they have on their roster. No, not Vincent.
I see what you're saying.
The forward.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the forward. The Morris twin has missed significant time. Duncan Robinson is a no-show most nights for them. They're still able to churn out victories, man. So that's what's impressive to me. So, with all these guys,
the twin brother is Martin, right?
Martin.
Yeah,
the other Martin kid that came from Charlotte is playing really well for them. So, this is just a team aspect of basketball that's just. It's not a star that's doing them for them. It's it's a collective and coaching. So that's really impressive to me.
Before I was gonna add on to the stats from what you're saying for the Miami Heat. I was gonna say also I'll give both the Bulls and the Heat A+. Also when you were saying for Spoelstra, he's at 14th season, 14th all-time list of wins above 500. Pat Riley only in Pat Riley era, only San Antonio, the Lakers have won more playoff wins than the Heat. And like you said, with guys like Hero, Vincent, and Strus stepping up while Jimmy and Ben were out for a lot of games, it just tells you the culture of the Miami Heat. It doesn't matter really if the whole starting lineup is not here. They're gonna figure it out. It's a team that always figured out this shit. It's their culture. They're not a team that's gonna tank. They're not a team that's gonna stop competing. They're gonna figure it out. It won't be sweet, but they're gonna get the W when it's expected from them. So that tells you a lot. Yes, last season they ended the season in a bad note by being swept. A season also that was not perfect from there. It's also they almost they did not recover from losing against the Lakers, mentally and physically. I think.
Yeah, it
So
was a quick
there's
turnaround. It was a
yeah,
quick turnaround for them.
talking about Cleveland Cavaliers.
So Cleveland, man.
And we can't be handing out A plus like that. I know you're gonna say A
it has to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's consistent for those top three, man. Maybe Miami, I'd probably put at an A minus or an A, just an A. I don't know.
Nah, you can't take it back. A plus.
I can't take it back. But Cleveland Cavaliers, A plus, man. JB Bickerstaff should be coach of the year, in my opinion. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he, if doesn't matter. Like, look, listen, Billy Donovan, shout outs to you, props to you, man. Like, if the team ends up as the number one seed overall, yeah, you're a strong candidate to win, coach of the year. But I think it has to go to Cleveland. Not only do they play an unconventional lineup since the beginning of the year, man. Like when I saw, they were winning games, and I'm looking at their team, and they're at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season, I mean, they're playing Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley as their starting five. And you're looking at three bigs, like that's in the starting lineup. Guys that are 6'11", between 6'11" and 7 feet tall, that are in the starting lineup with two small guards, and they're winning games. So I think JB Bickerstaff has found something unique in Cleveland that I don't think any other team can do. They're very mobile, agile bigs that can defend multiple positions. Outside of Jarrett Allen,
they can defend the wing also.
Exactly. And outside of Jarrett Allen, they could all stretch the floor. They could all shoot the three.
That's unique.
They could all shoot the mid-range. And then you have these injuries happen, these significant injuries to not only Colin Sexton, but to Ricky Rubio a few weeks ago. That was an important part in your second unit. That was really one of your main core guys. And you execute this trade for Rajon Rondo. You start reintegrating Kevin Love a little bit more into the rotation. And you're still figuring out ways to win games, man. They're the number 3 seed right now. I don't even want to look at where they ended up last year. Hold on, let me take a look. They were 13th last season.
Yeah.
13th last season with a record of 22-50. With a record of 22-50. And now we're talking about a top 3 seed. So wow. It's just absolutely impressive, man. I didn't expect that from them. And apologies again to Evan Mobley, who what was he drafted? 4th or 3rd?
He's first.
No.
Right?
No, he was the first. Point guard of the Pistons was number 1.
Cunningham.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me check again.
Yeah. It was Cunningham. It was Mr. Smooth Guy in Houston, number 2. I think Evan Mobley was 3rd. I'm not really sure, but
yeah, Cade was first, Jalen was 2nd, and Mobley was 3rd.
Okay.
Scotty Barnes was
4th.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be a bust, man.
You said something like that, right?
I thought he was gonna be a bust.
He's showing you otherwise. He's showing you he can defend and win. 7'4". Let me check again.
The wingspan is crazy. He's because he's 6'11", he weighs 200.
Yep, 7'4".
He weighs 215 pounds. As a forward, I thought he was just gonna be getting bullied. He's gonna still add some weight to his frame, as he starts getting more accustomed to the NBA.
Is that an apology?
The most sincerest of apologies to Evan Mobley, man. You got it, man. You're doing great things. And he's a very important part of the Cleveland Cavaliers resurgence.
So A+ for you.
A+, man. A+.
Yeah, man. Just to add on Garland doing a great job, good point guard, defensive as well, scoring 18.9, 7.5 assists. Scoring 20 or more points in 10 games this season, 30 assists in the last 3 games. That's crazy. It might change because the timing of the podcast. Defensively, this team is limited opponents to 101.9 points.
Yeah, they're not a high scoring team.
Nope.
Where do they? I think they rank
first in the
defensive-
Eastern,
Okay.
but ranked second in overall.
For points per game.
Oh no, not points
Or
per game.
defensive.
Defensive. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. Defensive issues. Yeah.
And they ranked 30. I mean, they ranked 25 last season, but in the last 3 seasons, it was 30, 30, 25. And they jumped now to third. That's crazy.
Yeah. And again, they're not a high scoring team whatsoever, man. So
and he could get coaching of the year because last season, everybody was expecting the Suns coach to get it. The name is
Tibbs.
Tibbs will finish fourth. It was Monty Williams. But so he can get it. The Bucks,
man. So for a team that ended on a championship run last year, I know they've had some injuries. They've had players in and out of the lineups, but that's also one of the reasons why I grade like a team like the Bulls and the Miami Heat so highly. Even Cleveland as well, because they've had players in and out of the lineup. They've had significant injuries. And I personally think that Dante DiVincenzo is a significant injury. Other people might not see it as such, but I think he's a very important part of the rotation for the Bucks. He missed, I think, the first 2.5 months of the season. I'm gonna grade them at a B minus. This isn't what I really expected from them. I expected them to be a little bit more dominant. Yes, Brook Lopez is in the lineup as well, but I don't think they're playing to their potential right now. This isn't championship level basketball that I'm seeing from the Bucks. But then again, what people usually say, it's when it's the playoffs that counts. So, they might be cruising to the regular season right now and just, like hopefully
they're ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're like, let's just make it healthy to the playoffs and then we'll show what we could actually do. But for me, they're just a B minus. They're slightly, they're not slightly, they're under like what I expected from them.
I'll say I'll give him a B as well. Like you said, I think it's a team that I was expecting a little bit more, like you said, like you mentioned. But after losing Tucker and not really replacing Tucker, and I don't know, they had a slow start. I feel like Middleton is not playing as like he was last season.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they should entertain that Christian Wood trade. They're talking about something I think they should entertain because I feel like last season, when did they make the trade? Is it at the same time?
That trade deadline, yep.
That's so I think they should entertain it again, get some juice, and then go to the playoffs. And then 76ers.
All right.
Or should I say Joel Embiid?
Basically.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah. So, all right. You're looking at the Sixers right now. You're looking at their roster. You're like, oh my goodness, Joel Embiid is a legitimate and probably will win MVP by the end of this. If he stays healthy throughout the rest of the year. I think he's scoring 29 points per game, 10 rebounds a game. Really efficient from
shooting
the field.
53.5.
Yeah, exactly. Really dominant force.
Last 9 games. Sorry.
Really dominant force. They're 5th in the standings right now, while paying a guy $35 million to just chill, wherever he's chilling at. No disrespect. I'm pretty sure he's staying in shape, working on his craft, quote unquote, for Ben Simmons. But I'm going to grade Philly at a C because, and it's not because it's very impressive what Joel Embiid is doing, but overall as a team, I think it's just because of the GM. This team should be better, $35 million, just chill. And, basically giving Joel Embiid this huge workload. Maybe, knowing that he has to step up in a huge way has elevated his game, even more to new heights, yes, but again, we're talking about Joel Embiid here. We're talking about a guy like, every time we get to the playoffs, by the time he gets to the playoffs, he has back issues, he has knee issues. Like he's just spent at the end of the day. So like, why not figure out a way to move this guy off your roster to give the tools necessary to this team to actually make them better than what they are? Because like with Ben Simmons out of the lineup, look at where they are right now. Now, if you retool the squad and add more complementary pieces around Joel Embiid, like where would this team be right now? So that's the only reason why I'm giving them a C. I don't think they're playing, that great. It's really again, like you like you started the second, like
Joel Embiid.
it's the Joel Embiid team. Like so, I'm taking a page out of my Shaq book and it's like not doing enough. Not doing enough.
Not doing enough. They're not competing enough. He's like scratching his head. Yeah, I'll give him a C plus. The reason why I'm saying C plus really is just because that Joel Embiid and the team are, while they're using how can I say, like, I feel like Joel Embiid is doing better with the double team. Like he's doing better. He's seeing the floor better. Good positioning for the guys to be open. And Joel Embiid is becoming a better passer with the double team. So that's the reason why I'm giving. Yeah, that's the reason I'm giving the plus. But like you said, the team is not better. And why not make the team better when you have a guy that I believe a couple team would want him because he's a great defender and then
100%.
He's a great playmaker. That's a plus for many team who doesn't have that. Now, in terms of scoring, that's on him if he wants to use the paint or whatever. New team, maybe he's gonna change his way and then start attacking. But also, why not get him some help? Like Joel Embiid is playing the best basketball ever, but
of his life.
Let's make it better. Like we don't need a guy to like bring in the whole team and then making history. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking to facilitate.
Yeah, and you're looking at it like he's close to 30 points a game, and the next top scorer
he's doing crazy.
The next top scorer is Tobias Harris at like 18 points per game, man. So like how much work do you want this guy to do? And like again, like history shows by the time it gets to the playoffs, and credit to Joel Embiid, he always shows up. It's not like he doesn't show up, but he's showing up at like 70%. He's like, yo, I got back tightness, my knees are sore. Every single playoffs. Not one playoff has Joel Embiid entered healthy. So what are we doing? Like when you're looking at your team right now, what are you doing? Like you should be thinking about that long term, not right now, and like not throughout the regular season. Your end game, your goal is always playoffs and championships. And right now you're wasting Joel Embiid.
Who benefits more if Ben Simmons and or say Tobias Harris going to the Nets versus Harden going to the Philadelphia? Who benefits?
I think it's Brooklyn 100%. I think you put Ben Simmons on a team like Brooklyn Nets, especially with his defensive capabilities, and Kevin Durant is there, dude, and Kyrie Irving, and Patty Mills, like bro, like
he got it.
Like, yo, this team is running through a championship. The only thing that's stopping them, honestly, like, I know I'm the Kyrie hater or whatever, but it's Kyrie Irving. The only thing that prevents them from winning a championship at that point is Kyrie Irving. You take James Harden out of that lineup, you put a more athletic defensive guard that could, if he wants to attack the rim, and there's going to be more space than he's probably ever had to play. If he goes to that team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Patty Mills, you're looking at a deadly team. I personally don't like. Look, it looks good on paper to pair James Harden with Joel Embiid. I don't like it. I don't like it because James Harden is super lazy. Like he's super duper lazy. Like this guy he's one of the laziest players that you'll ever witness play an NBA game, man. Like this dude doesn't want to play defense. And then again, it might be because he doesn't like New York. He doesn't like his situation in Brooklyn. So he's just like, whatever, like I'm always being criticized anyways. Like I'll just do what I do. And, I don't really care what happens. But whenever, he has turnovers or on the defensive end on the floor, you could see the lack of effort from him. He doesn't really he doesn't really play at 100% on both ends.
All right. Toronto Raptors.
For me, Toronto would be I'll grade him at a B plus. We spoke about this off camera, but I'm just looking at the overall team component. I compare them to like the Spurs now. I think they're the Eastern Conference Spurs because every single year I come into the season and I'm like, nah,
you ain't gonna be in the top 10.
Not this year. Not this year.
We're still here.
Not this year, Toronto. And I'm looking at their roster. It's Fred VanVleet, 20 points.
They competing, man. They like to compete.
Pascal Siakam, 21 points. OG Anunoby, 18 points. And they have a terrific rookie in Scotty Barnes, who's going to be competing for Rookie of the Year as well, who's scoring 14, close to 15 points a game. So Nick Nurse is doing a great job coaching that team, especially coming from us. Like they were in the 12th spot last year, if I remember correctly, in the standings. Didn't make the playoffs, and now you're a top 7 seed.
Yep, 12th spot.
So terrific job, man. Terrific job. You drafted well. The team is pretty good. Pascal Siakam seems like he's getting a little bit more adjusted to his role and figuring it out day by day. OG Anunoby is not sick anymore. Like he's not injured. So terrific job by Nick Nurse. I think this team is very, very good. I don't think anybody would really want to play them in the first round because they're well balanced. They're well balanced. Okay.
Celtics,
just a run of the mill team right now, man. Did they make the playoffs last year?
Yeah, they did. They got swept, right?
I don't remember. Were they in the play-in? Hold on.
They made the playoffs.
Okay. But yeah, man, they're just a run of the mill team. I think. They made the playoffs. I think they had a 500 record or something like that. But they're just a run of the mill team right now. They don't even have a winning record. And you're looking at a team that potentially have.
No, they have a winning record.
They have a winning record right now.
Yeah, they're 29-25.
Really?
Yeah, they made a jump. I'm not gonna lie. In the past 2 weeks, they made a jump because they were right in front of the Knicks. Then they went on a streak, but that doesn't really define the whole season that they're having, like you said.
Look at me. Like thinking they still have a losing record. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the roster. You think that they have two potential top 10 talents, top 15 player talents on their roster, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But overall, their team is not really constructed that well. First year coach. So I think there's an adjustment for them, but they're not really doing that great for me. So I give them a C. I don't think that's my expectation for them. And again, all those teams that we've talked about have had players in and out of the lineups, and that's no different for the Boston Celtics. But these other teams are figuring it out, and the Boston Celtics haven't. So, they're just a C.
C minus?
Mm-hmm.
You said C.
C, yeah.
Okay.
C. I'll stick with my C. I'll stick with the C rating.
All right. So I'll go on and give him a C as well. I was gonna say C plus, but I'm gonna keep it as a C because I think that they still have to stay more consistent. They're in a nice little streak. Let me see how long that streak is, because they won against the Pistons yesterday, and they beat the Hornets. They beat the Heat.
Yeah, hopefully they're on the turnaround.
Yeah, four game. So that's a good turnaround for him. Like you said, like Jaylen Brown was out. One of the reasons why also he was not named All-Star. But the team under Udoka, he said it himself, like the team has been inconsistent overall. Exactly. And you saw also with Smart talking about the stars not moving the ball around too quick. You can see it's a team that's not consistent in any plays that they've been making. And you have two guys, like two stars, Jaylen Brown and Tatum. They should be averaging like every night 50 at least. but you feel like they don't have a chemistry together, and especially this season. You can say injuries and stuff like that. They've been out of the lineup a lot, but I'm not sure. I think at some point they're gonna have to figure out a trade, not specifically Tatum and Brown. It could be Smart. It could be any. I don't know. I like Williams. I wouldn't touch Williams, but they need another piece for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's a pure point guard or a center.
It could be that, but yeah, as constructed right now, the team doesn't seem
not balanced.
Yeah,
the Hornets.
I'll go with a C plus. They just missed out on the playoffs last year, but they're kind of hovering around the same standings. The only difference is they have a winning record this year, this time around. But it's a very young and exciting team. I think we all love LaMelo, and so
All-Star snub.
Oh, he didn't make the He didn't make
the reserves? Not the reserve team. No.
Who made the reserves? You got that list?
Yeah, I got the list.
I didn't look at the reserves.
I'll pull it up for you.
But yeah, for sure. No. He has to be an all-star snub because the next team that we're going to be speaking about, I have some choice words for them. The Atlanta Hawks, I don't think Trae Young should be an all-star. I get, it's based on voting, for the starters as well. But how much more does I think the NBA has a lot to do with this, that they really push the Trae Young, Steph Curry thing. But at this point right now, and for this season, LaMelo is better than Trae Young. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. He's more rebounds, not more assists, but he's bigger. He's playing on a better team. I think he should have gotten the nod ahead of him. But
they have Jimmy Butler, Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Fred VanVleet for the reserves.
Chris Middleton, what are you doing here? I'm sorry. You missed significant time. You're not really playing well. Should have been an all-star. LaMelo should have been an all-star. That's a big snub.
So you give him, you said C, right? C plus?
Yeah, C plus rating. Okay. Because they're hovering around, they're exciting. They're on the uptick. But they still need to figure out a little bit more. The highest I'd go is probably a B minus for them, but I don't think they're that good yet.
C plus.
So C, I'll stick with my C plus rating for them because they have a winning record this year, but they're on the same standings as last year.
I'll give them a C plus as well. They're playing well. They're playing better than last season. They're going up and down in the lineup. They're ninth right now, but maybe 2 days ago they were probably 7 because that's how tight the Eastern Conference is right now. I think one of the reasons is LaMelo's playing better. Most of the players are playing better, but also Bridges is playing better than last season, and he's in course to being the most improved player.
Yep, he's their top scorer.
But it's so surprising that he also didn't make the All-Star. He's playing well. If Randall made the All-Star last season, I think Bridges should also be considered. But what'd you say, Mike?
I think he's their top scorer, if I'm not mistaken.
Possible. I can check that, but yeah, those are many reasons why I think C plus they deserve it. And also, you said that you had tough choice words for the Hawks. They're next.
Man, I want to be like Shaq so much and rate this team an F, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a D. A D minus.
I would have been hyped because
I'm gonna go with a D minus for them. You're talking about a team that made a run to the Eastern Conference Championship last year. And every time I look at this team right now and they're standing. So they're 10th place right now. They're in the play-in position right now. They have a losing record at 25-27. But every time I think of the Atlanta Hawks right now, all I could think of is the tweet of Trae Young saying that we'll be back, and Sebastian just quote tweeting it, "I don't believe you."
We gotta get that. I'm gonna dig. That's funny.
I hope it's still there.
It's accurate.
It's so accurate, man, because the team hasn't changed. The coach hasn't changed.
The team is not the team is not strong enough in terms of mentality. I feel like if they had dogs in their team, they could have been back. Like Collins is not a dog.
I mean,
Like
you have
he
a vet
got
like Lou
bullied. He
Will.
got bullied by Render, not in terms of scoring, but in terms of like Render was hurting him,
Like,
and he let like one of the games he was bleeding. Like, bro, how you gonna let someone like hurt you like that? Hurt him back. Like, do something. Yeah, that's when I realized like this team probably doesn't have dogs. Like, they don't have like a like I don't know, man.
That mentality,
Yeah, like a
that
strong mentality.
toughness.
They're a good squad. They just don't have a good mentality.
I guess they're just trash talkers. I stray.
They keep doing that, like, bro.
I stray with the
I should have been
losing
fucking fourth right now. We haven't
with the losing record. That team is like it's an
I'll
embarrassment.
give him a C minus. The Wizards.
You're very generous.
I'm generous. I should have, but I'm generous. The Wizards going down.
Yeah, that they started off well throughout the year. I think their team is really balanced. I think when we were doing our rankings, I think I had them in the playoff spot. If I remember
Check
correctly.
right now for you.
I recently moved, guys, so I don't know where my notebook is.
It's somewhere in the boxes.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I'd say C plus. I think because like we said, the Eastern Conference is so tight, they could figure it out and probably go on a 5-game win streak or something like that, and still catapult them into I don't know, maybe like a 7th or 8th seed, depending on the positioning of the other teams, like how they do. But yeah, man, I think their team is really well balanced. I like their roster. But for right now, because of their positioning, I'd have to say C plus.
Next up, Mike, the Knicks.
Oh man, Rich, another team I can't look. I know that's your team, bro, but okay. So the Knicks were the 4th seed last year.
Yeah.
Albeit a very early first round exit to the Atlanta Hawks. They only won 1 game.
And this is how it was at the beginning. The first game of the season.
Yep. But I have to give him a D, man. I have to give him a D. Yes, Derrick Rose has missed significant time. I understand he's very important to this team. But this team is just bad right now, man. They're not playing well. They're not consistent. It's 1 win, 2 losses. Win, loss. So they're not putting win streaks together, unfortunately. They're outside of a play-in position right now with the losing record. Midway through the season, I can't see myself giving them more than what I'm giving them right now.
What's the grade?
A D.
Yeah, it's well deserved because it's I'll give him a D plus. But yeah, man, they haven't their expectation is they're expected to at least be top 6, top 7. And that's why they give you guys so many TV time, but you guys keep losing. But one of the things I keep saying as a Knicks fan, and I keep seeing people saying trade Randall, trade this, and I think the bigger issue is how do you figure yourself out to get a good point guard first? And no disrespect to Kemba Walker, I like Kemba Walker's personality. I think he's a baller, but I don't think he fits the culture of what we're expecting in the New York Knicks in terms of defense. And it's not his fault, but I feel like Peyton was doing a better job staying in front of the defender and not having that, plus having Fournier not being a defender as well after losing, what's his name again? Bullock. It makes it worse. It makes it, and plus we're not consistent, like you said, win loss. When we haven't not been consistent, but defense was one of our primary thing from last season that helped us a lot.
Yeah, it's a Thibodeau.
We could score. Like we could score the same amount of points, but one thing I'm realizing, it's not about scoring, it's about like stopping some possession that we're not able to because we suck in defense. And like I said, I think Murray, what was his first name again?
DeJounte.
DeJounte Murray is one of the guys I'm looking at myself. I don't mind Fox, but I don't think we need to lose Randall. I'll give him a D minus, actually, not even a D plus, D minus, because yeah, man, there's not much.
And when you're looking at the offseason and the acquisition that they made, you know, a lot of Knicks fans were excited because, again, like, it's a Thibodeau-led team, so it's gonna be defense. It's gonna be defense first, defensive mentality first. But when it came to the playoffs, it was obvious that, okay, this team can't really score that much, and it's obvious right now too. So you have Julius Randle, who's your top scorer at 18.5 points per game. Like, that's not a playoff team right there, man. Like, you need a 23, 24 point scorer at, like,
which Kemba should have been doing.
You know, or you know, and you think that you're gonna have that balance between defense and offense if you're, you know, you add Kemba, you add Evan Fournier, you still have Derrick Rose coming off the bench, you draft quickly, you have Quentin Grimes that you drafted that you think he's a dog and he's gonna be able to defend and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just not. It just hasn't translated. You know,
not enough talent.
It's just not. It hasn't translated to where Thibodeau has, you know, cut Kemba Walker out of the rotation for a couple of weeks.
Pacers. So I was gonna go ahead and just say some random shit like D. I don't know.
So Pacers.
I thought they were gonna blow that team up because they were expected to trade Miles Turner, LeVert, and Sabonis.
Yeah,
trade them all.
That's a team that I think that should be looking at, you know, making some moves, man. Because, I mean, the payroll is balanced enough, but for you know, for a team that got like guys making $20 million, like, it's just like, dude, like, no, no. They have a very good rookie that I really like, who I think is going to be very good for years to come. What's his name again? Chris Duarte. He's really, really good. I think that's a team that should be really looking to make moves, or players on that team should be asked demanding trades, like a guy like Sabonis, or maybe not Sabonis because he probably likes the situation that he's a, you know, top dog and like,
I'm the man.
You know, he's on a team that maybe like you're looking at it like the grass ain't always greener elsewhere. He's like, oh man, you know, I'm getting paid. I'm the main man here. Like,
I'm good.
Let me just chill here and not, you know, let me not shoot my shot at other teams and then I become the third man on that roster with expectations, and then I start messing my career up. But
losing money after that.
Yeah, a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, you know, I mean,
could be useful somewhere else.
Yeah, obviously, Miles Turner already demanded a trade, like, because he said he's not being utilized correctly. So, D, F, whatever.
D, F, that's funny. Pistons.
F.
I like Cade. F. F. You get an F. Everybody get an F. The last four get F.
Cade is figuring it out now. He missed the first half of the season, like a significant portion of the first half of the season. He's starting to figure it out a little bit more. Like, he was really rough when he first started. Like, his shooting percentage was abysmal. You know, they have some decent talent on that team. They have Bay, they have Cade now, they have you know, the other forward. You know, Killian Hayes hopefully comes back. I don't know if he after 40 games.
Really?
Okay, yeah, he played 40 games. So yeah, that's how much I haven't been paying attention to the Detroit Pistons, man. Like, so he played 40 games. I didn't even know.
40 games?
Yep, Killian Hayes.
Not this season, right?
No, this season, this year, played 40 games. I thought he was out.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch Detroit as much, but I thought he was out.
Shocking. Yeah, I thought so too. Cade Cunningham played 41 games.
F.
Nah, I'm not gonna give him an F. I think for them, I would say a D, D plus. I don't think anybody was really expecting too much out of them, anyways.
I think their only highlights is the dunk
Oh, like the 2 dunks that kid did in game.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I don't think anybody was really expecting
shoot.
much from them. Um, they have some, yeah. Jalen Suggs, I like him as a rookie as well. Like this rookie class is really, really good. But yeah, nobody's really
There's so
expecting.
many talents.
Yeah, nobody's really expecting much from them. But they have good young talent on that team too. Um, with Cole Anthony, Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., who came from the Bulls. I miss you. Jalen Suggs. um,
Oh, so the one, so they're brothers. Wow. Oops, never
who?
really noticed that.
Who?
Um, Prince Wagner and
Yeah, Mo Wagner. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they're brothers, and they have R.J. Hampton as well. So they
and they
have,
got your guy, Wendell Carter Jr.
yeah, Wendell. Yeah, I just.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So yeah, they got a young team. So I don't know. Maybe in the next couple of years, if we're good coaching, and if these guys really want to improve on their craft, they'll actually figure it out. But I think a guy like Terrence Ross should be asking a trade. But
First, quick question: what happens to Fultz when he comes back?
who?
Fultz,
Oh man,
you forgot about him, huh?
yeah, I did forget about him. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he
He was playing
they
well before he
he
left,
was
right?
playing really well.
Yeah.
He was playing really well. Maybe they try to reintegrate him as a six man, probably. Because his deal is not that big. I think they only re-signed him for a 3-year contract. So hopefully he comes back healthy, and I don't think Cole Anthony will be losing that starting spot now. Who knows? We'll see.
We're gonna come back for a second part for the Western Conference, and we're gonna give him a great right before the All-Star games. Like and subscribe to know when the new show is gonna come out.
Click the
And
link down
follow.
below.
What is that?
Click the link down below.
That sounds like a commercial.
Let us know your grades. All right. Let us know
Yep.
your grades for the teams.
What's your grade for any team in the Eastern Conference? Follow the page, guys, on Twitter at La Une di Arena, and I'll write that as well so you can see the spelling. But yeah, let us know your grade. Comment below, and thank you again for everyone that's always tuned in. And thank you, Mike, for being here and doing this. We'll be back for the second part. Anything you want to add on before you leave?
No, that's it, man. If you guys disagree with my takes on some of the teams, please let us know.
Comment below and let Mike know. Looks like a segment. Let Mike know. I'll probably think about that. All right. Peace, guys.
Peace.